Hello, good morning, everyone. Yeah. So we meet again in another session of industry webinar. So please welcome to join us. So for those that from Facebook and YouTube, so that for those that already joined, please comment something like hi, good morning, so that we know that you guys are there. Okay, so for today industry webinar, we'll talk about unlocking efficiency, adopting industrial IoT for smarter operations. So we look how we can improve or increase efficiency and with applying IoT in smart industry. Okay, so before we start, just want to remind for those that haven't registered for this industry webinar, please scan this QR code. So at the end of this webinar, you will get a copy of this slide and also any updates for our upcoming industry webinar. Okay. Let me slow down a bit the music. Okay. Okay, so this is our agenda for today's webinar. So later I will introduce our speaker, and then we will go through Raspberry Pi, understanding Raspberry Pi in industry, and then we look how IoT can improve operation in factory, and then we'll explore what is the use case or real examples of companies that have transformed their operation to IoT. And then we'll go through the iRif series, which is our Cytron products. And then last but not least is the T-Robot service. What are the services that are provided from T-Robot company to integrate IoT into your system. Okay, so I will invite our first speaker for today. Mr. Ober. So, Mr. Ober, please introduce yourself.
Hi. Very good morning, everyone. Thanks for logging in to our webinar. So I'm Ober Choo here, one of the co-founder of Cytron Technologies. I've been in this field for more than 15 years. Last time I'm one of the design engineer. Now I'm taking care of all the products in Cytron Technologies, including industry product also. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ober. And then I will invite another guest for today. So this is our special guest, Mr. Rajaa from T-Robot. So Mr. Rajaa, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good morning, guys. So my name is Rajaa. I'm from T-Robot. So thank you guys for logging in and also, seeing our webinar today. I'm grateful about the opportunity for Cytron to have me here as well. So yeah, just a bit of introduction about myself. I'm very much involved in a lot of manufacturing in the manufacturing industry, helping a lot of factories go through automation and also going through their journey for digitalization as well. So just a little bit about myself, I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Mr. Hiru.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Rajaa. Okay, so for the first topic for our webinar today, understanding Raspberry Pi in industry. So I would like to invite our speaker, Ms. Ober, to cover this topic.
Yep, sure. Thanks, Haide. So Raspberry Pi in industry. So Raspberry Pi, if you guys know, I think many should have known because Raspberry Pi is more than 10 years already. Since 2012, now should be 13 years, I guess. Yeah, 13 years. They have just passed their uh, birthday. No, their birthday is tomorrow or the next day because they launched their first Raspberry Pi 1 on 29th of February 2012.
Oh, okay.
So that's the leap year. Lah. So it's kind of special because tomorrow technically it's not the birthday, but there's no 29 for this year, right?
Yeah.
So they will celebrate their birthday tomorrow. Lah. Yeah. So anyway, so they started with the mission to get every student or every hobbies or makers with a computer, with an affordable computer at that time. But after so many years, the Raspberry Pi have gone into a lot of engineer hand, and they noticed Raspberry Pi can be used for industrial controller. So they started to use that. Now, I think last 3 years or 5 years, the market share of Raspberry Pi in the industry have grown, and last 2 years it surpassed the market share of the percentage of Raspberry Pi in education or academic. It's
Oh,
being used a lot more in industrial
That's
now
great.
compared to education. Okay, so
mm,
that's Raspberry Pi. So next is we'll talk about, this picture actually show the commonly being known Raspberry Pi form factor, which is Pi 3B plus at the bottom. Then we have the latest one is Pi 5 at the top. Okay, but you can use it for industry, no problem. But if you want to customize, we have they actually have CM, what we call compute module. So the next slide is actually the compute module. So this is CM4 to be exact. I'll cover the CM5 the next slide. Okay. So what is CM? CM basically take the power, the main part of the Pi 5 or Pi 4 and make it into very compact, small footprint, and it's good for customization. So this particularly is CM4. The processor, same as Pi 4. Then the wireless, same as Pi 4 also. But for Pi 4, you don't have the eMMC. So if you notice, eMMC is quite important for the system to run reliably and also robust, and also the why our phone, you notice why our phone use eMMC, and most of our phone uses eMMC. Those that expansion might use micro SD card, but if you notice, if you store your video and picture in micro SD card, the loading time is very slow, and even when you store it, it's very slow. Okay, so that's why industry use eMMC. So for compute module, you have the option to have onboard eMMC. It's faster and more reliable. And the RAM for CM4, we have 1 GB, 2 GB, 4 GB, and the max for CM4 is 8 GB. And it also provide the option to connect to external antenna. So on board, there is a PCB antenna. If you don't want to connect externally, you can use the onboard. But if you want to have better signal reception and transmission, you can opt to have the external antenna. So that's the CM4. Next is CM5. CM5 just launched, I think, early of this year or end of last year. I think end of last year. I can remember. The footprint is the same as CM4, which is nice. 90% of the function is the same as CM4. In other words, most of carrier board you can actually directly plug in CM5 to make it function. The carrier board for CM4, you can take a CM5 plug in. Most of the function can be used. Okay, but you get the power of Pi 5 on CM5. So for example, it's 2 to 3x faster in terms of performance. For example, because of the core is faster, running at higher speed, 1.5 gigahertz on CM4 compared to 2.4 gigahertz on CM5. Then the RAM is also faster, although it's still DDR4, but the speed is faster. eMMC is also faster. We have tested it, the boot time, CM4 and CM5 loading the same operating system. The boot time is nearly half of the CM4 boot time for CM5. Then for the wireless part and external antenna, they are the same. Okay, so that is the Raspberry Pi in industry. I think the next slide. Do we have a next slide? Next slide. Okay, the advantage of using Raspberry Pi CM4 or CM5 or compute module, because pre-CM4 they have actually CM3 and CM3 plus, based on 3B plus and 3B lah. Okay. Anyway, the why we want to use Raspberry Pi compute module in industry. The first is because you have a lot of very rich software ecosystem, support variety of software and communication protocol. Python is quite common. The Pi is actually referred to Python. Raspberry Pi actually referred to Python. It's not the food that we eat. Python, very common. Node-RED, a lot of industry using Node-RED now. Maybe T-Robot, Mr. Rajaa can talk about Node-RED later. Grafana for very nice dashboard. Codices, similarly, is for a ladder program to be used on Raspberry Pi. Ignition, very nice block-based and also dashboard program also. So Node-RED, Grafana, Python is free. We know it's free because we are using it. Codices, you might need to pay if you want to operate more than 2 hours runtime. Okay. Ignition also you need to pay. Then beside this software, a lot of industrial protocol, for example, Modbus, RTU, Modbus TCP, OPC UA, MQTT, RESTful API, those are all supported on Raspberry Pi ecosystem. And because it can be customized, so you can actually do a lot of interface on it. So for example, in industry, normally people use RS Wi-Fi, RS232, but not UART, I2C SPI. So if you use the Pi 4 and Pi 5, you don't have by default, you don't have the RS Wi-Fi or RS232. But if you use CM4, we can customize. The carrier board can be customized to include the RS Wi-Fi, RS232, even the CAN bus to the carrier board. Then you can use it right out of the box. So beside all this industry interface, the Wi-Fi, the Ethernet, Bluetooth, HDMI, even the camera CSI and also the display DSI, you can customize it on the carrier board. And it can replace PLC, IoT gateway, edge controller, server, or industrial PC. And last, because it can customize. So that is why it's very suitable for industry use. Okay. I think that's all. Thanks, Cyril.
Okay, thanks, Ober.
There's a question.
Yes, there's a question. So this is our first Q&A session. Is iRIF CM5 16 GB RAM ready stock? If not, when? So this one I pass to Mr. Ober to answer.
So this question is from those that registered earlier with us, right? Okay.
Yep.
So iRIF CM5 is ready if you guys want to try CM5 on iRIF. So you get extra power lah, and a lot of people looking forward for the 16 GB RAM version. Still pending. We are still waiting for the CM5 16GB RAM to arrive. My estimation, so is it ready stock? No. My estimation is end of next month, which is March, we should be able to get a variant of 16GB CM5 16GB module lah. Then we'll release the iRIF CM5 16GB RAM. Okay, just wait for a moment, then maybe you can click the notify me on the product page. I will send you the email when the stock is ready. Yeah.
Then let's go through the comment section. If tomorrow birthday, no discount. Just now you mentioned that tomorrow is Raspberry Pi birthday, right? No discount.
Normally we celebrate Pi Day lah. Pi Day is actually March of 14 of March because it's 3.14. The whole world is celebrating that. The birthday, because leap year lah, because of leap year, so it's kind of arguable. Let's say you celebrate on 28th, technically it's not the birthday, right?
Yeah.
So maybe 3.14. Yeah.
Okay. So hi Aishwara.
So by the way, if you have any question, welcome to post on the Facebook comment under the comment area. YouTube, you can also put under the I think the right hand side, right? The comment area.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So we proceed to the next topic. Understanding how IoT improve factory operations. So this one I pass to Mr. Rajaa from Tiroba.
Okay, sure. All right. So I just wanted to share with you guys on what we usually do when we go towards meeting our clients and trying to solve their issues. So whenever we go and meet these, manufacturing factories who are usually producing 24/7, they'll be running 365 days, and they're constantly pushing out products at a very high volume, right? So the issues that they're usually facing is, most of the time when they want to go down and collect their data, they want to know what is actually happening down in the factory floor. It takes a lot of time. They'll have to send this one guy or they'll have either one or two guys to go down. And I was mentioned by Mr. Ober earlier as well, there was one factory that had over 300 machines, and they only had one guy to go down part by part to go and collect this data from these machines. So it's really time consuming. Sometimes it can take until end of the day or maybe 2 days to collect just the data on all of the machines there. So yeah, just imagine this one guy going down to collect all this data. So you don't want to put that amount of pressure on this person lah. And at the same time, of course, when you're sending one person to collect all this data, sometimes you can have human errors as well. For example, when he's going to go collect the data, just imagine all of this data. For example, if they're collecting from an analog meter, they'll have to read it. So at the same point when this guy is reading down and collecting down this data, he'll be like, okay, so this one looks about 25 psi. Okay, it's fine. Then he goes to the next one. Maybe it's around like 28 to 29 psi, but he can't see it on the meter that well. He'll just put it down as 25 psi. It's like, must be the same only. Because he's going to be going around collecting from how many machines in the factory. So of course you have human errors coming in from here as well. And then on top of that, you can also have inconsistencies in this data as well. For example, when you have when you have data being collected manually, end of the day, what's going to happen? You're still going to have to come back to the office and transfer it from your spreadsheet into your database lah, into your ERP system, into your MES system, or maybe you might be still using Google Docs or Excel to do your analysis on the data you've collected. Okay, so you've got that data already, right? What is another issue that they mainly face is they have delayed insights as well. What I mean by this is the data that they collected was probably from yesterday, all right? Because it took the operator an entire day to go down and collect all this information from this machine, from all the machines that are running in their factory. Now, you've got it into your table probably at 7 p.m. yesterday only. You didn't have time to analyze it. You just had enough time to just put it into your database. Next day, you're coming in and you're doing your data analysis on it, and you find out, there are a few alerts here. Some of the data here, basically, some of the pressures of the machine isn't proper. It's gonna have failures, But by the time you go today to go and fix that issue, it might have already gotten worse. So it's not going to be, it's going to cause, of course, failures in your production, and it's going to be very expensive for you to rectify these kind of issues. So of course, delayed insights can cause a lot of costly failures for companies as well that we're not looking for lah. And of course, let's say when you're looking at scaling up, right now you have like one lot with, let's say, 20 machines, we make it easier. You have one lot with 20 machines, for example. But then when your factory is starting to grow, you're getting more market demand. But your production, you also have to, what's going to happen? Your production is also going to have to increase. From one lot having 10 machines, you're going to have 4 different lots now. Your factory is going to open up. And then you're going to have 40 machines to take care. Are you still going to go down manually to collect all those data? So it's going to be very tiring for you. I'm sure you guys are not happy with. I mean, it's going to be a good news for your company when you have increase in production, your company is growing and all that. But at the same time, for the people who are collecting this kind of data, it's going to be a headache for them. They're going to be wondering, how am I going to get this done? So yeah, another issue that most companies are having when we go and have a conversation with them, right? We're telling them, okay, what is the main things you're trying to target and solve? Another thing that they tell is basically they are scared whether these machines that they have running for this week, if they're going to have any failure or not. Can they stand through the rigorous operations for this week or not? So here is where predictive insights are also very valuable for them. They don't have any predictive insights. They do not know how is the performance of the machine for the past week. They only get it, day by day. And they don't have a nice database system to manage all this data that they've collected as well. So yeah, this is some of the main issues that factories who are still running manually, collecting their data manually, having issues with lah. And of course, when they wanted to look for a solution for this, most people nowadays have already, you have Google, you have all these social media platforms, and you can start looking into solutions that you want to. Even YouTube, I think, is the most easiest to help us find out what are the solutions out there to help us. If I have any issues, I search, on Google. And then when I switch on Google, I see a video on YouTube. Okay, that's easy for me to view. I look at that and I get my information from there, So let me just share with you guys how we help them basically solve these kind of issues. So we use IoT solutions to help them solve these kind of issues. All right. So with these IoT solutions that we have given them, for example, all we had to do was just pasang some sensors over there. Instead of having analog meters, instead of a worker going down to, go and read the pressure of all of these machines, they can just have IoT sensors such as pressure sensors fixed up over there, connected to a gateway, such as, you also have the Idris nowadays, which behaves as a very good IoT gateway as well. And we can push the data back into our database or database management system that we're using to analyze our data. This way, the supervisor of the machine does not need to go down to the factory floor and intervene as soon as, they see any issues are coming up or whatever. He can monitor everything from the comfort of his own office as well. So yeah, what are the main pros, I would say, they got from implementing these IoT solutions were basically they had their data being captured to them automatically, and at the same time, because this data was coming to them in real time, they could also monitor all of their machines, in real time, find out which machine is running right now, which one is available, which one is going through probably die change, they're probably changing some parts there or doing maintenance on it. And then another thing, of course, that they had from implementing this kind of IoT solution was cost savings. Yeah. So because they could monitor things in real time, they could also take action in real time as well. If they saw one of the parameters on the machine that they're monitoring is, going above comfortable operation levels, immediately the supervisors could intervene and try to rectify this issue before it gets worse. Because in a production line, if you have a machine that is running uh, beyond operation capabilities, you can have defective products being caused, and it could impact your quality on your products that you're producing as well. So yeah, these are a few things that they managed to see the benefits after they put in these IoT solutions as well. And of course, finally, the thing that we're looking at was basically wondering, are my machines going to stand through this week's rigorous tests of operations and all that, right? Ah, so with our sensors that we put in there, for example, I can share with you guys for motors, for like what's that, AC motors and all that. When they were running, we were installed external sensors like vibration sensors over there, so that we can monitor these motors as they are operating as well. So if the motor does have a bit of vibration in a different axis that we monitor, then we can immediately find out that this motor is not going to be, we predict lah basically the data that we have for this motor and see whether this motor can tahan or not. If it's going too much left, right, up, down with the X, Y, and Z axis, we know it's going to fail already. We need to get a new motor. So instead of going through breakdown time and then stopping the production line and then waiting for lead time for a new motor to come in and change the motor, instead of that, we can immediately know that this motor already going to fail lah. Let's go and buy a new motor, and just as it's about to fail, we can already schedule a downtime and fix this motor up. So yeah, this was some of the very good benefits that people got from these IT solutions that they had. So yeah, that's what from my side I would like to share for how we solve lah. Maybe I can pass to this one.
Thank you, Mr. Rajaa. Okay, so I think I will go through the comment section first. We have a few questions here from Cryo. Can support SECS or GM?
Yeah,
So I think
SecGem lah. Only because
semiconductor equipment,
Yeah, semiconductor equipment. It is possible as far as we understand that SecGem will require a license to implement it. So we can implement it, no problem. But of course, customization is needed. So far on iRif, we have we have ICE Wi-Fi, ICE2, isolated digital input, isolated digital output, and also analog. Yeah. So if SecGen is required, we can also implement that, no problem.
Okay, good. Any reliability data from the field so far?
Of course, Rajaa can actually chip in, but so far we have actually sent or shipped a lot of iRif in the field, and we have also a few speaker from the field. For example, one of it is from Nesopima. They are implementing IoT to medical equipment. So it is not the first medical equipment, but I think they call it second tier. So it's not life-threatening kind of medical equipment. So they are collecting data from the first tier of medical equipment. So they are doing that. It's running 24 hours. They have been implementing that for more than a year. And of course, another of our partner is EDA solution. They are doing solar farm. They have been using Raspberry Pi even earlier than iRif. Have been 3 to 4 years already. So that kind of data we have. Of course, manufacturing, because they are quite secretive.
Actually, I can share one with you guys also.
Yeah,
We
sure.
are also implementing the iRif for some of our projects also. So there's also, as you share with me also, we are also doing with another medical manufacturing company as well. So they are manufacturing basically they are 3D printing some equipment for basically medical field. And when they're doing this 3D printing, they want to monitor, the 3D printers that they're using also. So they just have to plug into their 3D printer, collect all the data, and push it to the iRif, and they get a very nice dashboard to monitor all of these 3D printers. So yeah, that is one of the projects. Also, some of the projects where there's actually two more also, but I can't share that with you guys lah.
Yeah, that's one of the problem.
Yeah. Usually have to get their permission first before we share.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can interface with IO link?
We haven't tried that, but we are pretty confident we can do that also. IO-Link. We know IO-Link, a lot of sensors and also computer, industrial computer or industrial interface use IO-Link. Again, customization needed. CE UL approved. CE is approved. VWL still pending. If you are talking about IRIF, but if you are talking about Raspberry Pi itself or CM itself, is UL approved, CE approved, FCC approved. Yeah. Looks like reporting and data logging is possible. Not familiar with the 21 CFR and part 11. Mr. Rajaa,
no, I'm actually
compliance.
Yeah. I'm not
familiar with that.
With this compliance.
But yeah. So for Cryo, right? Cryo, you can actually set up a meeting with us at the back of the webinar. We have greet and meet. Welcome to, sign up the form. Then we'll contact you for meet and greet. Yeah. We can discuss further. Welcome.
Okay, for the Q&A session, so this is a question from the audience. Will the implementation of IoT take jobs away? So this one I pass to Mr. Rajaa to answer.
Actually, to be honest, no. The implementation of IoT is not going to be taking jobs away. It's going to be improving their quality of life, I would say. Instead of, these guys going down to collect the data, all they have to do now is maintain those IoT technology that they have, making sure that they're functioning, making sure that they are constantly spitting out the right data to them, So it's improving your life quality. It's not taking your job away. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
It improve the productivity also, right?
Yeah.
The efficiency.
Yeah.
Just imagine just now, the one that I shared with you, the operator or technician need to go to check more than 300 machines. I think one whole day is doing that only.
Instead of him going down to collect all this data, you can specialize your time and your effort in some other projects that are up and coming. So you can divert your attention there and be a bit more productive on things that you don't need to go down and do manually lah. Leceh lah.
Yes, leceh.
So maybe instead of worrying about this, maybe can upskill or improve our skill lah.
Yeah, betul. Take that time to do training and all that. Improve yourself.
Yep.
So next topic, Raspberry Pi, iRif Pi controller and iRif IOC. So this one I pass to Ober.
I think this one I'll move very fast because we have been talking for about iRif and IOC for all our webinar. So this is iRif Pi control. Actually, this is the top left is actually the CM5 version. CM5 version, we have the CM5. Then the CM4, we don't have the CM4 version. The CM4 marking there. So internally, you can see the PCB, and PCB is mounted to the heatsink. So that's the physical look of the iRif. Next slide. So in terms of the features, so all these are the spec. We have a wireless. So with iRif, we have the extended external antenna for the wireless signal, better wireless signal. Then another thing is iRif come with a OLED. So that OLED, the small OLED, is quite important for information. So let's say if you want to connect, you want to set up, most likely Idris is being set up as headless because you don't really need a monitor for each Idris. So it can collect data, it can do some control, but you don't need a monitor for that. So if you are setting up as headless, you might need the IP address. So normally we need to scan the whole network for the IP address for Raspberry Pi, things like that. But this one, it comes with the OLED, it can display some information. One example is IP address. Then the interface, ICE Wi-Fi, ICE 2. Then we have 4 isolated digital input, digital output, then 4 analog input that can measure 5 volt, 10 volt, or 20 milliamp. Okay. Network, wired network, we have 1 gigabit Ethernet. Another one is 100 meg Ethernet. Slower, but it's good to use as a Modbus TCP. Okay. It also comes with 2 USB 2.0, then 1 full-size HDMI for you to connect to a monitor or display. We also have the 1 user button. It's at the side of the OLED. Then 2 user LED. User LED is at the front because it's too small, cannot see it. Then active buzzer, okay, for you to have the sound indication. And it's thin wheel mountable by default, ready, so you can mount it in 3 orientation being shown. So that's the physical outlook and also the features of Idris Pi control, which is based on CM4 or CM5. Then next is actually the IOC. IOC is a microcontroller based IO controller. So it can be standalone. You can program using Arduino actually. You can program using CircuitPython. We have sample code loaded in as a IO expansion or expander through Modbus RTU RS45. So you can actually use Idris Pi control. If you don't have enough of IO, you can use this, connect to Idris Pi control, then use the Modbus RTU protocol to communicate with it. You want to read the input or you want to control the output, go ahead. And there is also analog input. Yeah, I think it's 2 analog input here. Yes, correct. Yeah. So all 3 models, so for example, the Idris Pi control CM5, Idris Pi control CM4, and also the IOC are powered by Raspberry Pi. For Idris Pi control is powered by compute module. For IOC is powered by the latest Raspberry Pi microcontroller, which is RP2350. Okay. So next, idea. So this is where we stack we integrate the Idris Pi control and also IOC side by side. Okay. And Idris IOC also thin wheel mountable. Okay, ready with that the bracket. So before I end, there is a small service we actually can design and customize service. We have design and customize service. We also can offer white label service. So whatever T-Robot is using this service where we change the logo of Idris Pi control to T-Robot. So just to let the audience know. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So now I think it's my part where I'll be sharing with you guys a few real examples of companies that have transformed their operations with the use of industrial IoTs as well. So just to share with you guys, maybe this is one example I can share with you guys. Okay, so we had a plastic injection molding company, right? They were basically running 24/7. They had around 22 machines to monitor and only 2 supervisors. Okay, so they had 22 plastic injection molding machines and only 2 supervisors. And each time the production was running and all that, they were finding out that, there was any issues with the machine or anything like that, the supervisor will have to go in immediately and intervene to try and fix it if there was any issues with the production line. And of course, this is very tiring for them. And on top of that, sometimes when the operators also come in for their 8-hour shift, they are working on their machines for the 8 hours. They, when they see any rejects being produced by their machine, they'll be like hesitant to go and report to the supervisor, because they'll be like, I only have 1 or 2 hours left in my shift. Why I want to go report? I just finished my shift, then later I go tell the supervisor lah. It's just 1 or 2 hours of defective products being produced. So you can imagine the wastages that were coming lah, the rejects that were coming out of this factory. And of course, when this company actually got an increase in market demand, their production could not keep up. Even though they tried their best, they optimized their factory production floor and everything, they still could not keep up with the market demands. All right. So what they decided to do is they started looking up into IoT sensors. They found out that the supervisors found out the supervisors aren't superheroes. They can't be there constantly, They can't be in every machine, all 22 machines in the production line, and trying to fix them. Yes, you have operators there, but even those, you give them training after training, they still have to have the supervisor to come in to intervene for these kind of issues. So what happened was they looked into IoT sensors, because these supervisors found out one of their main issues was these plastic injection molding machines. When they are pushing out and they are doing the manufacturing process, and the operations are running, their nozzle, when it gets heated up and pushing out this molten plastic, if it's too overheated, it starts producing defective products. So the supervisors knew this was the issue. This is what we need to monitor. Okay. So what they did was they got temperature sensors, and they fixed these temperature sensors to all of the nozzles on all 22 machines. And of course, because of them fixing this temperature sensors there, they could monitor all of this data remotely from their comfort of their own office. So T-Robot was actually lucky enough to come in and help them go through this journey together with them. So we helped implement this kind of solutions for them. And there were a few more issues we found out after monitoring all of their operations for the past 2 months. We came in, we fixed the POC like that. And after that, they were also finding out that each time this machine, it breaks down. Like for example, you can see in the slides over here, there is this chart you can see down here below the video camera and all, that actually shows you their factory floor. This is how their supervisors were seeing their factory floor. If green color means the machine is running, orange color means right now the machine breakdown, they're changing the die and all that. They're doing something on the machine it's being fixed. If gray color, it was unavailable that means it's not running. Okay, so when they found out that when operations are running, sometimes too many machines were still in yellow state. Most of them were going through breakdown. Okay, and usually breakdown, if you have a breakdown on a production line that's running 24/7, 1 to 2 hours of your factory, your production line breaking down can cost you 2,000 to 6,000 ringgit, or depending how much, because you're actually depending on the products that you're producing. So just imagine, for 1 hour or 2 hours when your production line is not running, you can lose up to 6,000. If an entire day, gone. So yeah, it was best for them to monitor all of this and find it, and then they wanted to find out, okay, why are all these machines yellow color? Why is it orange color? Why is it taking them like up to 6 hours to just fix this breakdown? So what we did was, as you can see over there, we installed some cameras as well. So each time when there's layout, whenever there was a machine they saw yellow color, the cameras on that specific spot would also turn on. It will turn on and show right now who are the workers working on the maintenance of it. So it will show them in image what is currently happening. And of course, what they found out was sometimes it was more, even though they send these operators for training and all, sometimes the operators are just buying their own time. They'll be on their phone playing games or watching TV, watching some YouTube or some TikTok, and they weren't getting their work done because they were like, okay, we have some time to do this break there. We have some time to do maintenance on this machine. Let's take our time So with the implement, and also because the supervisors, two guys, couldn't monitor all the time, on on what was going on the factory floor. So they couldn't even see when these guys were doing maintenance, were they actually doing their work, or were they actually buying some time and all that. So with the help of this kind of technology, it helped them solve this issue lah, a people's problem actually. So with this kind of solutions that we implemented for them, they started saving up 24,000 ringgit. This was just from their operation costs alone. They started saving up money. This is from them looking inwards and fixing their processes. So for a company that was having 22 machines, they were managing to save 24,000 a year on just all of their internal operations lah. So that's what I would like to share with you guys lah on this one of the use cases that we had for IoT adoption for this company. So maybe I can go to the next one and share with you guys one more that we have. So this is another one that we had. We had basically a factory that was manufacturing cellophane tapes. All right, they were making tapes. So this factory, when they had up to around 6 production lines over there. Okay, in their 6 production lines that they had, they were manufacturing every day lah. They were doing it 24/7 as well. They were trying to get out their orders, but they were having an issue when these supervisors were doing their planning for their, let's say for their operations. So they were telling, this work order that we have, we need to get it done within the next 2 or 3 days. Okay, because it has to be delivered already, this work order. So when they put out the work order and they do the planning on the machines, it was all fine on paper. They do their planning, they'll be like, okay, from this time to this time we'll be doing SKU 1, from this time to this one we'll be doing SKU 2, this time to this time we'll do SKU 3. But then end of the day, all of their workers had to stay back overtime and work overtime as well because the production couldn't keep up. So they were like wondering, how do we solve this? What are we missing out? Okay, so they decided to go find out for IoT sensors, and that's when they found us as well. So we went through a workshop on showing them how these IoT sensors work. We also showed them how we can fix it up for their company so that they can monitor certain data. Because currently, all of this production data that they were collecting was, of course, manual. It was on pen and paper. And sometimes by the end of the day, when they want to put it into their database, it's not there. The spreadsheet is missing somewhere else. So they cannot have the time on what was the available time of the machine running, what was the, downtime of the machine. So these were the simple data that they actually wanted to collect. The uptime, the downtime, and the, uptime, downtime, and also the breakdown time of the machine as well. They didn't have this data. So we went in there. As you can see, we put in some IoT gateway over there. And we also pulled in the data from their machines, their 6 production lines that they had running over there. Each production line had their own IoT gateway over there to monitor that line. So from this, we started collecting data for them. And within the first week, they already started realizing what their issue was. Within the first week, they found out, even though they do all their planning, but each time they change from one SKU to another SKU, right? They're doing one product to changing to another product. There is a setup time in between. Basically, their setup time from changing the machine from producing one type of product. Now, let's say they're producing 5mm tapes. Then after that, they're going to go ahead and produce probably 2cm tapes, a bigger one. So when they wanted to change from that small one to the big one, of course, the setup time took at least 1 to 2 hours. Because sometimes, they were still like finding out how to change and all that, right? So the setup time was never accounted for. And this was what was causing most of their workers to stay back overtime. And of course, because these workers are staying back overtime, you can imagine the expenditure the company had to fork out because they had to pay the workers overtime extra some more. So just fixing IoT sensors to collecting this kind of data, they managed to improve their operations, and they find out that, okay, instead of now us producing 4 different types of SKU in a day, we streamline it and just produce 2 different SKUs. So when they started switching to that type of model and they started producing, started going about their operations, they found out that they could actually meet with market demands as well. Their production could start keeping up, and their workers didn't have to work overtime lah. So excluding the workers they had to pay overtime and all that is an additional cost you don't want to think about. But just from operation costs on how much they save from the internal operations was around 28,000 ringgit per year lah, from these IoT solutions that we implemented for them. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys lah. A bit about the use cases that we have from implementing these industrial IoT solutions for manufacturing industries.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rajaa. So, no comment from the audience. Okay, for the next Q&A session, I want to set up my own team to implement the IoT and maintenance. Who should I approach to build up my team capabilities? This one maybe Mr. Rajaa knows better.
Okay, so if you guys are wanting to set up your own team to implement the IoT solutions and also maintain it, we do provide training from our side as well. We have an industrial IoT adoption course that we run every month. We have our next one coming up in March that you guys will be able to join if you're interested in. So we do team training as well, where we will show you guys how to use IoT sensors, IoT gateways, as well as give you guys the hardware as well to work on it. And at the end of your third day from this training, we will be helping you guys implement this proof of concept in your operations as well. So this will be quite useful for those of you guys who are looking to implement this kind of IoT solutions in your workplace lah. Yeah.
Yep, that's cool. Okay, so I think this is the last topic. Steps to integrate IoT into existing system and leverage manufacturing execution system.
Yes. Okay. All right. So just to share a bit, yeah, maybe I can show you guys a bit on the journey to digitalization that people take when they're coming with us, especially most companies that are looking to, increase their productivity and boost their efficiency as well. So what we do is basically we found out that when people are going to go through this journey, the first thing they do is leaders of these companies will usually assess the state and set the objectives for the company. They'll be like, currently we're doing things this way, but we need to start looking at how we can start going into these digital platforms or digital avenues that we have that we can start making money from. So yeah, this is the jobs of leaders, where they assess the current state and set the objectives of the company also. You have to set a direction where you're going. And then you'll be starting to develop a digital transformation strategy as well. You'll have to start seeing, all right, if I want to start implementing this kind of, solutions for myself so that I can increase my productivity, I need to start researching. You need to start looking elsewhere, you'll be going on Google, you'll be going and meeting other people who are doing the same thing you are doing, asking, what are you doing that's different from mine? How are you increasing your, production rate and all that? How can I do it myself as well? So you'll have to go around and find out what are the things that people are doing out there. And then, of course, now that you have all the answers on the solutions that you want to start implementing, you also need to start investing in the right technology. I would say that there are many solutions out there, but not the most expensive one will be suitable for you. Sometimes you don't need all that extra features, just a simple one that you need, just serves your purpose practically for what type of data you're trying to collect, will be just suitable for you. So investing in the right technology is also very important. And of course, then make sure when you're getting ready to get started to implement these IoT solutions, you need to also make sure you build a skilled workforce. You need to make sure that your employees in your company are ready to adopt this kind of IoT solutions. And when you want to build a skilled workforce, that is when you send them for workshops. That is when you send them for training. You tell them, all right, I'm going to implement this kind of solutions and I need you guys to be ready. All right. So make sure you guys are ready. Go for these workshops. Get yourselves trained. And once you're ready for this kind of solutions to be implemented, you start lah with step number 5, where you implement and integrate these digital solutions. It's already starting to take place. You have everything. You already assess your current state, set your objectives. You already talk to people, find out what kind of digital transformation strategy you need. You also invested in the right technologies, and your workers are already ready to accept this technology also. Now you start implementing it, and you just sit back and you can now monitor and optimize all of your operations that are running from the comfort of your office. So once you're monitoring, you can start optimizing also, because as you know, every company that would like to scale up as well. They would like to evaluate which parts of their business is doing well, which business model is doing well, and they would scale up based on that as well. So this is how most companies can start leveraging this kind of IoT solutions, and they need to go through this kind of journey basically to get there. And we are always there to help them as well. So yeah, that's what I would like to share with you guys.
Good. Thanks, Rajaa. Very good sharing there.
No worries.
Looking forward for more, and this kind of implementation.
Yeah. It should be widely adopted by a lot of people now.
So okay, next actually our service design and customization service. Talk to us if you need special kind of controller based on, let's say, by CN4 or CN5 or even the microcontroller. We are here to talk to you, no problem. Okay. So next one is the one that you can fill in and talk to us. So it's either just now Cryo, you can actually scan, get this slide, then get to the link of the industry meet and greet, and fill in your information. Our team will contact you. Okay. So next is okay. So beside
Want to start automating your business or industry but don't know.
So beside T-Robot provide training, we also provide training, but our training is getting started. I come with the hardware later. I'll show the hardware. Let's see what we have in the training video first.
Okay, so I play the video.
Where to begin? This workshop is for you. At the Arif Pi Control Workshop, you'll get hands-on experience. Build your own Industry 4.0 solution using industrial tools like the Raspberry Pi CM4, sensors, power meters, and more. It's practical, simple, and perfect for lecturers, trainers, engineers, and system integrators. You will learn to set up the Arif Pi control, connect sensors, and program it with Node-RED. Create live dashboard to monitor temperature, humidity, and energy in real time. From wiring to automation, we'll guide you step by step. This workshop gives you more than just a training. You'll have the chance to join a factory tour and see how we produce our products. Get a certification to teach and deploy Arif Pi control solutions. And yes, it is HRDC claimable. With this workshop, you can explore further and take on advanced projects yourself. Sign up now for the Arif Pi Control Workshop. Get hands-on, get certified, visit real factories, and start leading the future of Industry 4.0. Seats are very limited, so don't miss out.
Okay.
Thanks, Idris. And it's HRDC claimable. I think T-Robot workshop also HRDC claimable, right, Mr. Rajaa?
Yes. Our workshop is also HRDC claimable as well.
Yeah. Good. So for currently we have 3 slots available on our product page. March, 20th of March, 24th of April, and also 32nd of May this year. So that is for a single pack. We have 5 seats maximum because our office we can accommodate 5 person with the training kit each one. Then you get the training kit and you bring back the training kit for this course. Okay. If you want to invite us to your site, minimum is 3 sets. Then the fee is 9,000 plus. Okay.
We have a question here from Idris. I received a question from a training provider in the industry about how we can promote job opportunities related to Python, Ober, and Raspberry Pi. What is your opinion?
Again, question from training provider in the industry. Job opportunity. Okay. Yeah, definitely. If you have the knowledge of Python, and especially Python, Python is being used widely in AI programming.
Yeah.
Widely being used in AI. Those the LLM, large language model, even in vision, computer vision, Python is widely used. Node is normally being used for automation, IoT, and also Raspberry Pi. Yes. What do you think, Mr. Rajaa?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, if you're learning about Node-RED, Raspberry Pi, you have this kind of, what's that? You have this kind of knowledge is very much needed in the industry. People are looking for these kind of solutions, They are not aware of these things such as Node-RED, Raspberry Pi and all that. But people who are actually in the industry doing this kind of things, they will like understand, all right, this is what we're looking for. This is the type of people we need. So there is actually a market demand for this kind of programmers, actually, and a lot of job opportunities for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Thanks. Okay. Next, Irene.
Okay. So this is another pictures of the workshop.
Yeah. This is some of the picture from our past workshop lah. So this one we went to one of the hotel. I can't remember who's the participant already. One of the company lah. Okay, we did it in hotel lah. So this is in our factory. So this is the office. Can accommodate 5 person only with the training kit. If you look at the training kit. Then the next one is factory tour. We have a small production line. So all those that being designed by Cytron and produced by Cytron is produced in Penang, the PCBA at least. Okay. Yep. So this is a tease. We are coming out with a new controller. It's a HAI product. We don't have the outlook yet, but we are looking for evaluator. So this one will be up on our website soon. So stay tuned. Look at our front page. Okay.
So this is like a new series of iRif, right?
Yeah. Its new control is under IRU also, but it's more to AI, HAI lah. And we are looking for early evaluator. You can try it out. Early access lah. You can try it out. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all. So anyone who are interested to get copy of this slide, please scan this QR and register your information lah. So we'll email this slide to email.
Yep.
Okay.
So thanks. That's all I think.
Yes.
So by the way, we will have another AI related webinar soon, right? Next
month.
I think next month.
Yes.
Next 2 weeks, yeah. Okay. Stay tuned. We'll announce it also.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks, Ms. Rajaa, for your sharing.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.